Hello, my name is Gudrun Zahlmann. I have the pleasure to work with the Quantitative Imaging Biomarker Alliance and serve in various positions for this alliance. I would like really to introduce you today into our concepts of profile development and profile conformance testing. So if you have a new idea about an imaging biomarker, really sit together with colleagues and think about really how to drive this forward. Then it is really decided by the QIBA steering committee to whether this is really fitting the needs of QIBA. And then you start really working on what we call a profile. So in the beginning, it's all based on literature search on your expertise and experience. As soon as the first version of this profile document is ready, you go out to the larger community of imaging experts that are working in the same field. And you get their feedback. As soon as this is really then factored in and the profile is revised, we call this really then a consensus profile. Then the question, of course, is if I have such a nice document, can I really turn this into something practical at my imaging center? So this is what we call the technical confirmation step. If this works for a limited number of sites, then you can come to the stage what we call technical confirmed profile. And this is some sort of a turning point where really the development pathway also splits off into the conformance testing pathway. So if the QIBA biomarker committee is really convinced that this really is doable at an imaging center, then we can ask others in the field. So this is then called technical conformance testing at various imaging centers. And this can be done internationally. So for the profile development, then you would really move on to say, okay, whatever I learned from literature and my own expertise, is this really holding in the field? If I would run some sort of a clinical trial in a number of imaging centers, and then I would say, okay, whatever we promised in our profile, that is really true. That would be the claim confirmed development stage. So now let's really focus on technical conformance testing. So if I would be a clinical site outside of the QIBA community, and I would be eager really to do quantitative imaging right, then I would eventually really find QIBA and see the profile, and I would say, okay, now tell me how to do that. And each and every profile really contains what we call a checklist. There are all really activities listed that really need to be done in order really to come up with a proper quantitative imaging biomarker assessment. So you would take the checklist, you would tell QIBA that you are interested in doing this, then you would really run through the checklist, and you would then really get an assessment by QIBA experts whether this is really working properly or not. So in fact, you have the ability to walk on two pathways for doing that. Either you do it on your own, what is the self-attestation pathway, or QIBA, biomarker committee of QIBA, or in a third party on behalf of QIBA would really work with you on doing that. So for the self-attestation, as already said, you take the checklist, you fill in all the boxes, and you send it back to QIBA. There is a proper assessment by the biomarker committee experts, going through all your answers and giving you feedback. And then, of course, you are a successful, really conformance tester of this profile, and you would get a registration by QIBA, and it would be published on the QIBA wiki.